In a world flooded with speedy hedgehogs and heroic plumbers, one rocket-powered Opossum dared to carve his own legend. His name was Sparkster, and in 1993, it took to the skies in one of Konami's boldest mascot gambits ever. This is the story of Rocket Knight Adventures. So hello guys, and welcome to my very first video here on Corefile. Today we are starting our YouTube journey talking about one of the most underrated franchises, the Rocket Knight games. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this deep dive into Sparkster's very first adventure, Rocket Knight Adventures. Spoilers lie ahead. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the story, the world of Hellhorn. Rocket Knight Adventures takes place in a steampunk-inspired kingdom of Zephyros, nestled within the larger world of Hellhorn. So, this is a place where magic, machines, and ancient relics coexist, and it's constantly under threat. By this point, I don't really know why they still live there, but anyways, the important thing here is that at the heart of this world is the kingdom's most sacred power source, the mysterious ancient spaceship only known as Pigstar. So the story goes that a long time ago, Zephyros locked the Pigstar away, fearing its immense destructive power after defeating the invaders that came within it alongside his clan, and became the ruler of Zephyros, hence the name of the kingdom. To protect this secret, a legendary order was born, the Rocket Knights, elite warriors sworn to protect the kingdom and its relics using swordsmanship, jetpacks, and strict honor. So we're going to talk now a little bit more about Sparkster. Keep in mind that all of this is being told not through any other type of media, but through the actual manual of the game. Since to my extensive knowledge about this game, or this franchise, nothing really came out, as in comic books and all that. I think there was a comic book, but that's lost media, so I think the most we can get out of is actually through the manuals. So let's talk a little bit about our main hero. So yeah, for those of you who don't know, or just want to relive, memories, Sparkster is one of the last Rocket Knights. He is a Opossum with a rocket pack, a sword, and a code of justice. But Sparkster wasn't always a legend. You see, while the game doesn't exactly deep dive into his origins, official materials, like the game's manual and promotional art, confirm that Sparkster was mentored by the Rocket Knight Master, Mifune Sanjulo. Sparkster rose through the ranks quickly, proving himself through countless battles, and eventually inherited the title of the leader of the Rocket Knights after his mentor was betrayed. Now, the traitor's name, you ask? His name is Axel, a fallen Rocket Knight who now serves as Sparkster's arch-rival. As a kid, I always thought Axel was some sort of girl. I didn't even know he was a she, and neither did I know his name. So, yeah. Here's a little piece of personal trivia for you. You're welcome to write any fanfics. Anyways, Axel abandoned his code and turned against Zephyros, aligning himself with the invading Devontidos Empire, a war-hungry race of pig-like creatures. So here's a little bit of a fun fact, by the way. Second to the game manuals, the name of the traitor is Axel Gear. A lot of people call him Axel, so I'll use that name throughout the video, but originally, apparently his name was Axel Gear. That also apparently is the name of an actual real-life, I don't know, piece, mechanical piece. Anyways. Let's now talk a little bit about the game's story. In Rocket Knight Adventures, our hero's first journey, Sparkster's mission begins with a crisis. The Devontidos Empire has launched a full-scale invasion on Zephyros. Their goal is quite simple, to steal the key to the Pigstar and use its power to conquer the world. Well, of course, to achieve this, they have to kidnap Princess Cherry, heir of the Zephyros throne, and the only one who knows the key's location. Apparently back then, kidnapping princesses was trending. Sparkster launches into action, jetpack blazing, sword in hand, fighting across castles, lava rivers, airships, and even into space to rescue her and stop the resurrection of the Pigstar. But along the way, is constantly tested by the enemy's twisted war machines and by Axel gear, whose own skills mirror Sparkster's. Like I said, Axel is like Sparkster's opposite, the Vegeta to his Goku, the Shadow to his Sonic. Their battles are more than rivalry, they're a clash of ideals, one knight who protects and one who betrayed everything. One is selfish, another is selfish. And yes, I know both Vegeta and Shadow are not selfish, at least not after they turn good. But regardless. So now, let's give a little bit of attention to each level. Normally, each level has like 1 or 2 mid-bosses and 1 actual main boss. And so, across this whole game, there's a total of 7 levels. The game starts with our valiant rocket knight, Sparkster, outside of Zephyros, currently under attack by the Devontidos. They have powerful weapons, such as a pig tank, that is, well, a pig driving a tank. However, don't let it get to you. This thing has 2 phases. First is your standard soldier pig on a tank. Our hero fights it on top of a wooden bridge. After you defeat it, the bridge breaks, and well, that's when hell breaks loose. You see, its second phase is kind of like pinball, except you're the one who's going to lose if you don't destroy it. The tank starts rolling and going all over the screen. Either way, after you defeat it, the second section of the level plays kind of like a shooter, with our hero flying with his rocket. The place has a few enemies and another boss fight, the Snake Mecha. It is fairly easy to defeat it, only bounces a couple of times out of the water, and the only vulnerable place is its head. Upon defeat, our hero reaches the castle. Inside, there's mechanics of platforming and also auto-scrolling. By the end of it, we have to fight Pig Spider, a mechanical, well, pig spider that attacks you bursting through walls and dropping spikes. Only weak spot is its head, just like the previous boss. Now, Sparkster manages to get to Axel gear at the top of the castle, but he escapes in one of the Devontidos' Empire's spaceships. The engines of this machine make Sparkster fly away, ending up in Stage 2, Mountain Range. Our hero falls onto some water that he has to cross. The game catches us by surprise with a mid-boss right at the beginning, the raccoon robot. So, this robot is piloted by a pig. What a surprise. If you hated the pigs from Angry Birds, trust me, these ones are even more annoying. This robot's weak spot is its Rudolph looking nose. I actually put this in the script. After defeating it, we move forward towards the waterfall that has some platforming. At the end of it, there's another boss, Metal Snake. No, not that snake. Anyways, this boss is somewhat even more annoying than the spider one, at least personally. It goes in and behind the waterfall and only stops to attack. Oh, that's cool, right? Well, The worst part is that the entire map is covered in spikes, with only 2 little platforms that go backwards and forwards the waterfall each time you step on them. Yeah, have fun. Regardless, once we finally win, time for the last part of the stage. A cavern, cave, whatever you want to call it. Be careful with spikes that move and you should be fine. The last area is the railway. Oh god, that damn railway. The scary part for me as a kid. See those carts over there? It's all fun and dandy. They follow you, you can jump, attack, kill pigs that appear on other tracks. It's amazing. Except when they start flashing yellow and there's red signs. You must time the jump to the next cart. And if you can't and die and try over and over, boom, it's all straight to the beginning of the game. Well, at the end of that nightmare, you have, of course, Pig Train Boss. That looks more like a weird cockroach than an actual pig. Although, not gonna lie, it's pretty satisfying to kill it. Kill. Is that even the right word for a machine? Anyways, this boss is simple. At least at first, because it will come from behind and shoot. Obliterate the cannon, and it will leave. Oh well, now on to the next level. Oh, nope. Here it comes. Now with the track above us, and starts launching its stretchy arms after us. Nothing like a good slice can handle. Bam, no cannon, no arms, and on to the next level once again. Oh, yep, now it's back, shooting bouncy balls out of its ass. The developers did not want the player to pass this level. Clearly. Finally, after the train is gone, and after Sparkster crosses this monstrosity of a level, he enters the third stage, going underground. It's pretty much a volcanic cave. The cool thing about this level is the lava reflection. It's not realistic since I don't remember lava being so glassy, but it's neat. No pun intended. I know someone in the comments with volcanic intel or Google Access will most likely roast me, but hey, that's my knowledge. Also, it actually has its use, but regardless, the first area is full of lava that raises and lowers all the goddamn time. Reminds me of that water level in Castlevania Bloodlines. And yes, if this video does well, and if you enjoy this type of content, we will eventually talk about Castlevania lore and, you know, some other games like these that bring us nostalgia. Even though we're also going to be talking about, you know, more recent stuff. Anyways, this lava, it's an instant kill. Do not touch it. The second area is an underwater cavern, pretty much like the one in the previous stage. The player has to be careful swimming up and down, avoiding spikes and enemies. This time we only have one boss mid-stage, called the Pig Crab, which we meet at the end of this cave. It's nothing too bad, the player just has to hit the pig controlling it on the cockpit. However, this thing attacks with its arms. Destroy the arms and it shoots lasers. There is never winning this. Alright, I better calm down, because after its defeat, we go into the final part of the stage. A massive ocean of lava is our first obstacle, and we have to use the walker. Just be careful not to fall off. What, too easy? Well then, have some spikes to dodge it while you're at it. However, the walker is simple to use. We just have to jump on it the first time and it walks on its own, killing some enemies and dodging some spikes around the map. Do this until the end, and voila! We enter the boss area, the lava fish. Now, I don't want to take too long explaining this frustrating boss, so I'll get right to the juice. The only way to damage this thing is going through all stages of grief, at least that this boss has. Eventually, it will appear in the middle, shooting multiple balls upwards and bananas, so you can replenish your health. After 3 times of doing this, he will eventually spit out the red pig, which is the guy controlling the fish. Why would he do that? Oh well, go figure. The pattern will continue, and if you hit that bastard enough times, he'll go down just as easy as he came up. So, after exiting the cave, our hero meets with the king, who shoots him into the sky from a cannon, most likely as punishment. Ah, just kidding. It's just for him to reach the airship where Axel and the princess are. The stage starts us by defeating Captain Flegel. Who is this guy? Well, he's just another pig. Pun intended. But also the captain of the Big Baronet, the flying battleship belonging to the Empire. No need to say he's working under direct orders from the Emperor Devlingus Devontidos. I never knew how to pronounce this name. Anyways, now that you're all acquainted with him, he fights our Rocket Knight when invading the ship right at first, but then flees like a little sissy and we have to pursue him above the ship. Using some metallic bars to be able to get to the flying pig head. This boss is simple too, but quite of hard? Question mark. You see, some bombs will drop from the top of the ship and hang onto the bar we're hanging to kill us. All we have to do is hit them and time it with the boss itself being under a bomb in order to be damaged. After that, we proceed into the ship, where Captain Flegel awaits with his Flegel robot. It's literally a robot that looks like a pig and stretches. It will casually raise and lower its arms, eventually exposing its weak spot just to attack. Imagine you could be making anything, yet you create a robot that shoots by showing its weak spot. Now, where have I seen that before? Anyways, so much like the fish, this boss has some patterns that repeat, so just doing the same thing until it dies. Yikes. Alright, so finally our hero arrives to the kingdom of the Vontidos. May seem the end, but it's just the beginning. Of the end, that is. Axel escapes with the princess from the Big Baronet, so Sparkster goes after them. We start by flying over the city. We have to pretty much just dodge machine guns and missiles, kill a couple of pigs on balloons, you know, your usual Saturday. Eventually the brave knight flies down towards where the surprise core is. However, the way this battle is made, much like the snake at the beginning, it's a shooting style. This boss has some barriers that we have to destroy and dodge a couple of lasers. After all barriers are gone, the legs of this thing explode and it will enter its second phase, flying all over the screen and having 4 arms that go all around, moving them by stretching them in and out. After getting rid of that, we finally enter the Vontidos castle. So here's the thing, there's some armors that we cannot kill. We have to go dodging them and go to the teleportation devices at the end of each segment. The last screen has us climbing on an auto-scrolling vertical screen, climbing thing, where we must avoid all kinds of traps. After a massive headache and probably shaking from being so damn nervous about the end, I'm not gonna lie, I'm always like this in these types of games where you can't save. All we have to do is some platforming before reaching the end. Now here's a section that's really cool talking about. The pig mecha. But wait, not like anything you think. You see, Axel is in the pig mecha, and our hero is, well, in nothing. Eventually we'll run away from that fast trader until we find our own pig mecha. Now this is it, boys. This is a classic one-on-one battle. Almost like boxing, except with robots. Pig robots. Huh. Now, it's not going to be the last time we're going to see something like this, and you'll see why in part 2. But yeah, after the win, we proceed into the next stage. Don't worry, we're almost there. Upon Axel's defeat, Sparkster finally meets with the one behind all of this, Emperor the Vlingus. He enters the Pigstar and leaves behind Princess Cherry. What a dumbass, honestly. But with her aid, she powers us up to go after that bacon in space. So I won't talk much about this since the stage is pretty much a shooting type. We just have to fight some pigs and dodge some other obstacles, nothing too deep. We can, however, talk about the bosses. The first boss that appears is Shieldbot. It only shoots lasers, tries to ram us, and launch some sort of boomerang buzzsaw. The only way to damage it is when it puts its shield down to attack us. The second boss is Axel Gear himself. I guess he didn't like getting his ass kicked the first time. The actual boss from this stage is the Pig Battleship. This boss, also defeated through shooting, will begin attacking us. After, it teleports and sends some enemies after us. Destroying the hatch is the only way to make it expose another weak point. The jaw. After that is destroyed, another weak point shows up in the neck. Following some of its pattern here and there, a couple more transformations from this guy, and eventually he will go down with enough damage. Finally, on our way to the final stage. The end! The Pig Star! Now, our hero has come a long way to fail. His mission: defeat the Emperor, Axel here, and make sure that the Pig Star is gone for good. Wait a minute. Axel gear? We'll get to that in a second. So once again, warning for spoilers for the ending. So this stage is basically bosses only. You know, like one of those Castlevania thingies, what's the name, boss rush, whatever you want to call it. So first, we have the Emperor Devlingus Devontidos. Besides being the main antagonist, besides Axel of course, the lore on this guy is basically none. All that we have is that he was the one for bringing back the Devontidos Empire. After their demise at the ends of the Zephyrus Kingdom, he kidnapped the princess because she had the key for the Pig Star. Now, Sparkster needs to face an enemy of ages, but here's the thing, upon defeating him, it is revealed that the Emperor was a robot all along. It is a mystery if he was like this all the time or what, but that's the plot twist. Now that he's dealt with, we fight one last time with our rival and traitor, Axel. How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man? You can tell the battle with him is in the final level of the game. Everything starts getting destroyed, he refuses to go down without a fight. But alas, our hero triumphs and Axel is defeated, being ejected from the ship. Finally, we reach the core room. The final battle with what we thought was going to be something more chill, you know, just to kind of turn down the ship, turns out to be the Emperor? Well, you see, the Emperor made some robots that looked like him, but unbeknownst to us, he was never the Emperor per se. He's the core of the ship. He is what makes Pig Star quote-unquote live. It's kind of harsh to explain, although it is never confirmed, so here is my take. And attention, this is just my opinion, doesn't really mean that this is the 100% lore of it, so I'm gonna put that section down in the video. So, the Pig Star ship, or better, the core, I'm pretty sure it was just an AI gone wrong. Why it takes the appearance of a pig is unknown. Maybe a scientist from the Devontidos race made it, or some other alien race, or maybe the Devontidos are aliens. Hence the need for a spaceship. I mean, in the beginning, if you remember, we did speak about how they wanted to, you know, conquer the world with the spaceship. So we can pretty much assume they are a race of alien pigs. Now, the core, being the Emperor, manages to get into war with the Zephyros to conquer the planet. Zephyros wins, and that consequence brings them to lock the Pigstar away. Fast forward a couple of years and the events of this game happen. Maybe it's the time it took for the Emperor to regain his army, but how? Well, either he built them some sort of healing capsule, or everyone we've been fighting so far is a robot. We know the skills the Pigstar has to build these types of things. The Emperor the core built could mean many things, like a more vividly physical appearance of him, or maybe more like a useful tool, or maybe to confuse the player alone. Who knows, and clearly this is the type of game that deserves a lot of attention. But regardless, and back to the actual story, upon defeating the core, by affinity Sparkster destroys the Pigstar and returns to his world on an escape pod. However, the core escapes with him from Pigstar, chasing our Opossum, and we have a last confrontation. Just dodge its attacks while we descend back. Eventually the core ignites into a blazing inferno as it re-enters the planet's atmosphere, not resisting and getting destroyed before even landing anywhere, while our hero safely lands back home in Zephyros. After an intense final showdown aboard the Pigstar, Sparkster defeats the Empire's leader and Axel Gear and destroys the weapon once and for all. Princess Sherry is saved and peace returns to Zephyros. I mean, at least for now, of course. Unfortunately, our hero Sparkster does not stay for celebrations. True to his code, he disappears into the horizon, always ready for the next fight. That's the kind of hero he truly is. So, what did we learn today? Well, Rocket Knight Adventures didn't just give us another mascot. It gave us a world with real stakes, a hero with real code, and gameplay that dared to do something different. It's no surprise that the game still holds up today. Sparkster might not be a household name like Sonic or Mario, but for those of us who flew with him, he's unforgettable. This was Corefile, and this was the story of Rocket Knight Adventures.